Wealthy on the balance sheet, broke at the bank. That's a financial snapshot of a lot of ranches these days. Yeah, the land's appreciated in value, and that's made the balance sheet look really good. But appreciation doesn't pay the bills. We may be worth millions on the balance sheet, but when your spouse has to work in town to make ends meet, or when your kid, who's a key player in the operation, when your kid's spouse has to work off the ranch to support their family, well, am I the only one who thinks that there's something wrong with this picture? You wouldn't be watching this video if I was. Land rich, cash poor. Now, some ranchers say that that's just the way it is. But just because that's the way it is on a lot of places doesn't mean that that's the way it has to be on yours. One of the questions we like to ask at the Ranching for Profit School is this: what do you know is impossible to do, but if you could do it, it would be a breakthrough? One of the answers to that question might be cash flowing the purchase of ranch land from ranching operations. Paying for ranch land from ranching operations. Yeah, that would be a breakthrough. Now, your neighbor probably thinks that that is impossible. Let them go ahead and believe that. But don't tell it to the people who are actually doing it. And there are people who are doing it. They aren't doing things conventionally. But isn't it conventional wisdom that tells us that you can't pay for ranch land from ranching operations? It sounds to me like maybe it's time to chuck conventional wisdom. Let's start by looking at how ranches are valued. The price tag on your neighbor's place is more than just the value of his grass, isn't it? Sure, grazing is one factor, but it's not the only factor. If there's a river running through it, the value is going to be higher. The fish might be worth more than the cows. And if you have a spectacular view, the value is higher yet. And it's not because cattle gain more when there's a pretty view. You see, ranches have layers of values. There's minerals underneath them, grass growing on them, wind blowing over it, scenery when you look across it, water flowing through it, wildlife on it. You get the idea. If you want to pay for ranch land from ranching operations, you'll have to manage all of the ranch's resources. So, conventional wisdom tells us that we can't cash flow ranch land from ranching operations, right? But conventional wisdom has a very narrow view of what ranching is. Your neighbors say that ranching means managing grass and cows. Funny how they don't mention money or people. But regardless, if you want to pay for ranch land from ranching operations, you better expand your thinking about what ranching is. At Ranch Management Consultants, we believe that ranch management means managing all of the ranch's resources. And it's actually more than managing the resources. It's monetizing the resources. And there are two ways to do that. You can either capitalize or concessionize the resource. Now, capitalizing means to divest yourself of the value that you don't intend to use. Concessionizing means to create an income-generating enterprises using those resources. Now, of course, money won't just fall in your lap. There are still the three secrets for increasing profit. You'll need to keep the overheads low, the margin per unit high, and make sure there's adequate turnover. And look, I'm not saying you can buy every ranch by capitalizing or concessionizing the resources there, or that this is easy. Far from it. It takes a lot of work to figure this out. But it isn't the work of setting posts and raking hay. It's the work of brainstorming options, evaluating alternatives, running the numbers, and working through scenarios. You've got to understand that before a ranch owner can afford to be a cowboy, they have to be a businessman. Rather than just working in the business, you're going to have to start working on the business. You're not afraid of a little hard work, are you? Good. Well, it's time to break with conventional wisdom and conventional results. It's time you were wealthy on the balance sheet and at the bank. It's time you started ranching for profit. We'll see you in class real soon.